So Leanpath has been working on food waste management for a little over 20 years. And our perspective is that there's a fundamental change which occurs when you begin measuring wasted food. And so we're transforming the way kitchens work by making it a regular expectation that we don't throw things away without tracking them. And by doing that, we create awareness, and that changes behavior. And then we also get data. And from that data, we're able to learn things and change how we design and run our operations. Think about wasting 30% of our food with an agricultural system, which is arguably the largest human impact on the environment. It's really shocking. And so food waste is this nexus issue that when you're working on it, you're working on everything. You're working on water, you're working on emissions to the air, you're working on biodiversity and land conversion and food insecurity. And so it's absolutely a huge priority. And I think sustainability is often daunting because there's so many pieces. And what's beautiful about food waste is when you work on that, you're working on so much of the problem at one moment in a very solvable problem. So we view waste data as a critical insight area where if you understand what you're wasting, you understand all of the opportunities to improve efficiency. What's in the bin is really just a bunch of ideas for improvement. It's not waste. So to begin with, we look at that waste data as a critical control point. That thing going into the bin is really something we need to fix and improve. And so then what the improvement looks like can be very different depending upon the reason it went in the bin. So in terms of a smart supply chain, part of it might be that we need to communicate to a manufacturer that's providing a certain food that the size of package they're giving us is too big and we can't use it. And we're throwing away some chunk of it because it's just too big. It could be that simple, but they may not know that. And we keep buying the big package when we're throwing away a third of it every time. So seeing that data allows for that conversation. Similarly, we might have data about something that's spoiled when it arrives. And we need to let our supplier know that that item was spoiled, and we may want a credit for not paying for it. And we want them to know that there's a problem. So there's those elements. And then downstream with data, we now have the ability to know what we're wasting, which gives us the ability to know more about our carbon footprint. It also allows us to understand whether that item that's been wasted might be instead uplifted in some way or valorized in some way. If it might have energy content that could be turned into biogas, perhaps it's not inedible, perhaps it's excess edible food, it's not food waste. We might find opportunities to recover it. And so what you find when you start collecting food waste data is that there are thousands of potential solutions for what goes into the bin, and it depends on the item and why it's there and when it's there. Optimism, change, collaboration. I love the optimism here. It's great positive energy, and you can't work on difficult problems if you don't bring a lot of energy. And that energy comes from having hope and being able to see a different future. And I think that what's going on here is very much about seeing that different future.